Hi, this is how you make Italian bread. I do not purchase the package. What I have found of the active yeast packages, or any little those small packages, they're not correct measurements and they vary. I recommend buying a bag of the active dry yeast and measuring out 2.5 teaspoons. I'm going to place this in a large bowl combined with 1 teaspoon of sugar. And we want to make sure our water is between 90 and 110 degrees. Not more than that, or it'll dry out the bread. Less than that will not activate the yeast. I use a probe thermometer. It is 108 degrees. I'm going to pour in the water. I'm going to take a fork and just rotate my fork, blending the ingredients together, and let it stand for 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes, I'm going to come back and we are going to continue with the Italian bread. What's going to happen, it's going to create a foam ball basically on top. We'll see that. I'm just going to let it sit open. We're going to come back and then we're going to measure out 3 cups of bread flour, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We want the olive oil to be a refined olive oil that can withstand 400 degrees, because that's what we're going to bake it at, and 1 teaspoon of salt. So when we come back, make sure you have those ingredients. Now we're back. Notice that it has a nice foam top. That's what we're looking for. Next, we want to make sure we have a couple of towels, clean towels, like just some kitchen towels will do. And we also want a wooden spoon. We are going to slowly add the flour, which is 1 cup of the 3 cups of flour. We also want to slowly add in the olive oil. Remember, it's refined, so we can have it at a higher smoke point. It's 1 cup. Slowly stir in. Add 1 teaspoon of your sea salt. Now, you may add the remainder until we get a shaggy appearance with the dough. You can do a dough hook. I prefer this method over a dough hook, especially if I'm just doing a small loaf. The dough hook, a lot of times, like in my KitchenAid, the small kitchen, or for your kitchen at home, it won't reach the bottom to really stir it in. But if you double the recipe, it will. Notice how it's starting to take on. It's starting to appear that shaggy look. Notice I'm just adding about 1/2 cup at a time. The reason why I want to do this, and if you don't want to dump it all in, I want it to be difficult. You'd have flour going all over your surface area. But the other side of that, of this, is that it also depends on the environment, altitude, humidity, as to how much you're actually going to use. And a lot of times we might mismeasure going into, say, our reserve bowl from our large flour bag. So we want to just slowly add that half a cup in at a time. Look at that, it's coming nicely together, nice shaggy on the wood. See how it's a little tacky? So what I like to do for the remainder of the flour, which is just a little bit, put in my hands, and then I'll just knead it in for the remainder. Just knead it with my hand. This is why I like to do it. That way I can feel the tackiness and how it's. At the very end of my video, I touched my computer because it was going dark. All right, so the remainder, last little bit here, pulls it all together. I'm just pushing my palm into the bread. It's going to be nice and supple, not tacky, it's not sticking to my hands. This is great for kids, for adults. It's very therapeutic. Just to have that tactile, just to form fresh bread in your house. This also makes focaccia bread, herb focaccia bread. So focaccia bread is just adding the herbs and olive oil and then baking it at 475 for about 12-15 minutes in a round shape versus a loaf. We're gonna let this rise. I add just a little bit of olive oil on top. And I'm gonna just let it rise. I am gonna cover it with my towels. I'm gonna put 2 towels across. Make sure it's nice and covered. And then I'm just gonna put it to the side. There you go.